Welcome back to Hugging the Cactus, a Mel Gibson podcast. And today we cover Tequila Sunrise. It's not just a drink, it's an entire movie. And we are covering this in real time because for a change, I don't have to call Nevada, I don't have to call Canada, I don't have to call someone in New Zealand. I'm in my own time zone. I'm in the Benelux. Welcome, Virginie.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. In fact, you're desperately needed. Tequila Sunrise, what was your first impression?
The cover of the movie was really 80s movie. So I thought I was like, okay, that's the vibe I like, like this is a really nice vibe. And the image, well, like you have to look like a photograph. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is a really nice identity. But then I thought it was going really slow to start the story. Did you feel that or not?
Yeah. It has its own pace.
Yeah, it has its own pace. Yeah. And I was like, okay, are we going somewhere? Because when you see Mel Gibson, you're always like, okay, he looks good. He doesn't look like a retired drug trafficking guy. He looks like the father, the good one, and you want to like him.
Actually,
No?
he looks like a real drug dealer.
You
Because
think
drug
so?
dealers are always usually handsome guys, and they're friendly, and because they're salesmen.
Yeah, but in my mind, okay, I get that. But
They're the fun guy at the party.
Yeah,
and everybody loves him because he has the stuff.
Yeah, he has the stuff. But in my mind, when you have spent like it was his 15 years doing that, it would be seen on your face. Like you would have mark and the stress is still
not him.
Not him. It
No.
was so I don't know.
Affable.
Yeah.
Affable is the best word.
And this just like it was like, yeah, you retired, you were in a really big business with a lot of stress, and you have that face.
Yeah, it's like the head of the Mexican drug cartel is my best prison buddy. I have no problems in this world.
Yeah, right.
Oh, and my other childhood friend is a cop, and he's making sure nobody's arresting me.
Yeah, my life is so amazing.
My life is good.
No wrinkle, because my life was so nice and so easy. Yeah, and that didn't really sit well with me.
Well, there are a couple of things about his character that are a little off. Like he's almost childlike. Like with the whole love affair, he's like the innocent partner in the threesome.
The teenage guy.
Yeah.
He looks like he acts like a teenage guy. He put himself way too much in danger for that. He just he forgot how to cover himself or to protect himself. Like if you have been in this business for that long, I mean, you would have some kind of
paranoia,
trauma. Yeah, but you have like reflex and trauma and stuff that you will like be a little bit suspect of everyone and all the time. Like I thought that was missing of that character.
Yeah.
It should have like the past should come back to hunting. Yeah.
And that's actually interesting because that's a unique perspective you have because you're actually an actor.
Yeah. I am struggling.
You cannot watch a movie normally anymore.
No, this is a real difference when I started this career path. Is that I look at everything differently. I cannot enjoy a movie like just lay back and be in the story. I watch how is it made, how is the character playing. I thought Mel Gibson was shockingly not that great in that one, and I don't know if it's the lack of personal story of the character, like we just said. Like you should have a little bit more of trauma and stuff, or if it's him. But no, I'm kind of a Mel Gibson kind of fan. I think he was really great in a lot of things, but in this one I think he was a little bit just not where I was waiting for him to be. So I was like, oh, okay. But if I'm honest, because I'm French, I'm from Belgium, but I speak French. Actor in English movie always looks like they play better. I mean, the language the helps them to look more convincing, I think. than French one.
Could
I don't
be.
know if I really
Or
think
maybe
so.
because it's when you watch something in your own language,
Yeah, you are more
it takes
critic.
you out of the
Yeah.
suspension of disbelief. I have this when I watch Dutch movies. I can't watch them, and I
Yeah,
think
okay.
Dutch actors are terrible.
You do?
Yeah, they're just horrible, and but it's probably because of the same reason.
Yeah, that's
Because I
maybe the
don't have
same.
this problem with French movies.
Okay, right.
When I watch French or Spanish movies, I love the acting in it because
Yeah.
I think it's probably because of the language barrier.
Maybe I should try a Dutch movie
I
and
don't
tell
recommend
you.
it. Avoid it like the
Right.
plague.
Yeah. All right, I will then. I
Yeah.
will trust your judgment. No, but well, to go back to Mel Gibson, and I thought the casting was great. I mean, you have like those are really good big actor you have in the movie. It's like they are not one timer. They are already.
This is star-studded.
Yeah, it's really
Definitely.
star-studded. It's you.
Because we have Kurt Russell.
Yeah,
I love Kurt Russell.
I really love him.
Kurt Russell buff.
And he is good.
And he's great in it.
Yeah, he's really great.
But
And
what I enjoyed immensely about Kurt Russell's character is it's not the typical Kurt Russell you see. Normally he's like the handsome, debonair guy, and here he's kind of a sleazebag.
Yeah,
he has his hair slicked back, and he's supposed to be an honest policeman, but you can tell he's crooked.
He's not, yeah. But
he lies to everyone.
To everyone, and he's like protecting his friend, and you're like, who's that good of a friend for you to protect him if he's that big of a used drug dealer? But yeah, I really like him, and he's really, you can feel the manipulation, you can feel and that's really well played from him. I think it's like you don't, it's a cop, so you want to trust him, but you can't, you just don't. And so when the story
and he's a snake.
He's a really good snake, like a really good one.
And that's the irony here, because the drug dealer is the most honest guy in the conversation.
Yeah,
he's the one trying to make good on, because he owes the cartel guy money, like a lot of it.
Yeah,
it's not really explained why, but you would assume.
But still not stressed.
And not stressed. But then again, he trusts Carlos, because once they finally meet, spoilers, we could discuss the story, but I don't think you have to watch the movie for it, because the plot is just too complex.
Yeah, it's really, you have to follow it.
It's very convoluted, but in a good way, because it's actually well written. It's really clever, but you can't really explain the plot and do it justice.
But spoiler alert, I have one thing about that I really didn't like, and I think the voice you hear in the middle of the movie, that I'm trying not to spoil too much, that lead to the end, you can recognize it.
True.
So I got spoiled in the middle of the movie, and I was like, okay, that's that person.
That's what's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was kind of disappointed. I mean, you should have changed the voice, even if that was not the cell phone like we have, but you should have.
Yes, because basically the cartel guy inserts himself into the investigation.
Yeah.
As a Mexican federale with a whole bunch of guys who do not look like cops.
No, not at all.
And the FBI guy, we have to assume, is so dead set on capturing McCusick, which is Mel Gibson's character, that he doesn't care or notice, because he's been in contact with this guy. He's blinded by his ambition, almost so blinded that he cannot see the obvious. Yeah, and when we hear his voice, it's like the obvious.
Yeah.
But it's full of like these clever little MacGuffins. Like, for example, at the start of the movie, Mel Gibson is tipped off that this is a bust, because he sees all these nuts lying on the floor, because those are guys who are just around eating nuts while they're on surveillance, because cops, at least in TV shows and movies, are always eating.
Always.
Well, I've noticed when I travel in the United States, Americans are always eating, so maybe that's predictable. But however, he sees a bunch of nuts, and then he goes into the hotel, and he sees even more on the stairway and on the fire escape, and he's like, oh, interesting. And he doesn't say anything, but he just sort of hints at the lawyer. Apparently his lawyer was paid off with drugs instead of money, which I guess can happen if you defend criminals, but it's not very smart because.
And if you're into drugs, because if I was a lawyer, I was like, no, give me the money. I don't give about the drugs.
Yeah.
You have to be like also yourself already in it.
Well, in Holland, we have this famous lawyer who always defends criminals called Moskowitz. And it was a really famous firm, and they did some really major court cases, even political ones. And he was disbarred because criminals would pay him cash, and he would not declare this to the government. And this is kind of a similar situation. It's stupid. I understand you have to make money, and I understand that these criminals usually when they're under investigation, their accounts will be frozen, so they don't have money. So they really can't pay their lawyer, but somehow they do. So in this case, Mel's lawyer got paid with drugs, a bunch of coke, and he's trying to sell it. And of course, he's selling it to the police department because this is America. And in America, you can just pretend to be a criminal and buy from other criminals. And that's considered legal. I mean, it's completely illegal here. It's entrapment. You can't. No, you can't elicit someone into a crime. The precedent of it is that person might not have been a criminal, but you lured him into criminal behavior by posing as another criminal. I mean, if you drop money on the street, what are you going to do? You're going to pick it up. Yeah, but technically, you have to
bring it to the police. Yeah.
Exactly. But welcome to Europe, people. Welcome to the Benelux. We're normal, honest people. That's how we behave.
Yeah, small personal story. When I was like a teenage, I found a really nice phone on the ground, like the one that I could never afford when I was a teenage. And my dad was with me, so I was so happy. Like, yeah, I found that amazing phone, and Dad, look, blah blah blah. My dad made me take it to the police and give them to them if someone's came
property.
Back. Oh my God, I was
their family pictures are in there.
Yeah, right? But I was so sad because I was like, oh no, I want to keep it.
Yeah, you thought you won the lottery.
Yeah, exactly, but I didn't. No, I had
Valuable
to take
lesson.
it. Yeah, really won. And I didn't know at that time, because I was like 12 or something, that you couldn't keep it. That's how I learned. Yeah.
Yeah. But
there in America, I would have keep it.
Mel Gibson's lawyer.
Yeah.
He even betrays his own client.
No, he's not good.
Not good. Nobody's honest in this movie. Nobody.
But
and I kind of enjoyed it because of that.
Yeah, because when you think about it, and
not
you
even
look
the child.
No.
Manipulative little bastard.
Yeah, but he grew up with a cartel dad, so we can let him have that.
That's that's my favorite anecdote in the movie. It's like the ex-wife who hits him up for a new Mercedes because he's a drug dealer. He can afford it.
Why not?
And he's like, but it's under warranty. Yeah. They said that, but they said something stupid about, it was without oil. She never changed the oil. The car's like totaled now. She just destroyed an expensive Mercedes. Who cares? My ex-husband is a drug dealer. And so she's basically threatening him with, hey, if you don't give me money, I'm going to tell your kid you're a drug dealer. Yeah.
She's also really nice.
Welcome
really
to California, where everybody's an asshole.
Yeah. But in a case, in some way, it was refreshing, because sometimes when you watch a movie, you always like, that one is too perfect. That character is just too nice or too perfect, doesn't have like I don't know how you say that in English, like something crooked inside them, something that they like, that you can feel. Everyone is a little bit.
We all have a dark side.
Yeah, we all have one, and we try to not use it or try to just make it shut up.
Yes, this is one of those shades of gray movies. There's no good or bad here. There's no good or evil. It's just people going through stuff. And the cutest thing about this movie is that the Mel Gibson character is almost childlike in the love affair.
Yeah, he's acting like a child. He's just, and you would think he would have more common sense of how to protect himself. That one really bothered me
Yeah, but
because I
love
was
makes you
like,
do stupid things. That's the theme of the movie.
yeah, but I get that, but he's not a 16-year-old. Yeah, you can do stupid thing, but you can also just think a little bit more.
But it's
But maybe with sorry, but maybe with if I had Michelle Pfeiffer in front of me, I would be acting stupid too, because that one she
yes,
has charisma like no one ever, and you're like, okay,
yeah.
I we can give
She's
him
a
that.
man. She's a woman. Men will make fools of themselves for.
Yeah, and she in the movie, she's not just a beauty. That is what I like about the character. She's not just the pretty girl. She's also really strong-minded.
Mm-hmm.
And then, well, she doesn't. Also, she doesn't act really well, not in the acting sense, in the character sense. But she has
Um,
a personality.
she's
Like,
yeah, she's kind of aloof
yeah,
and very self-protective in the sense, and
more than
because
him.
and distrustful, which
Yeah,
is
more
I
than
think what
him
women in
in
California
general.
have to be,
Yeah,
because that's a horrible, horrible, horrible place.
it is.
I never understand why people enjoy Los Angeles so much. Much it must be the weather, or and
Yeah,
the
I
pretty
went.
palm trees,
Yeah.
and the intense amounts of money you can make there in the entertainment industry. But okay, so this woman is a restaurateur,
Yeah.
and she drives a really nice car, and she has expensive chefs. So this is an upper class restaurant,
Yeah.
or
Clearly.
restaurants, we should say, if you like TV chefs. It's a wonderful restaurant, and I don't think the dishes were particularly spectacular. But then again, this was 1988, so maybe sensibilities were different back then.
Yeah, I
Because they're
think so
just
too.
eating linguine,
And
and
it's in
they're
the
eating it
UK.
like it's like
Yeah,
an orgasm in my mouth, and it's just so good. And
but we are not from the United. I think for the United States, maybe it's
it's
better.
not
But
Belgian, is it? No.
yeah, no, we have different taste buds. I think
Yeah.
in Europe, like,
Well,
yeah,
Belgian particularly, because it's Belgian kitchen is haute cuisine.
yeah,
It's
like
the
France
mix
and stuff. Yeah,
between
yeah,
basically Central European and French cooking, and so
yeah,
it
exactly.
doesn't get any better than that.
Thank
Maybe
you for
Italian,
Belgium.
maybe.
Maybe Italian. Yeah, you have to give them that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Northern Italian, not Southern. Anywho, so she has a restaurant, and she's very successful because those little plates they have very little food on them, and
Yeah.
they're probably expensive. So she drives a nice Porsche.
She doesn't look like she would need a man. I mean,
She
to
doesn't.
be
No.
successful, she would. I think at first you wouldn't think she would get herself in that situation. I mean, you're like, okay, no, she's strong minded. She has her own business.
Mm-hmm.
She has a nice car. How can
Yes,
she?
but she's a woman. She has needs,
Yeah, yeah, we
right?
can give her that, right?
And it's not like she doesn't have plenty of men around her, because
No,
there's the bossy bartender.
yeah,
And that kind of confused me, because at the start of the movie he felt like I don't know, a jealous boyfriend, and halfway through they sort of
that's
explain,
his boss. You're like,
or that but he's not the boss. He's
no,
basically the employee, but he acts like the
yeah,
boss because he's the experienced bartender. He knows
exactly.
all the clients, and he knows what they're up to, and he has a good judge of character. He's actually the
Who's
smartest and
going
most
to need
honest
what?
guy
Yeah.
in the entire movie. I really like Arturo, and so at halfway through, he's lured away from the restaurant. Or no, she's lured away from the restaurant because Arturo
Yeah,
called his wife is sick, and I was like, oh, he's married. This is a decent guy, and he's protective of his boss, because that way he protects the restaurant, and that's his
yeah,
job, and we have a good thing going here. Stop messing with these horrible guys. Both of them are crooks. Stop this. That he's basically the voice of reason in her life, and she
yeah,
doesn't
he really
listen.
is. She doesn't know.
No.
Yeah.
Which brings me to Joanne. Well, you already brought her up.
Yeah.
Okay. She's an interesting character in the sense that she's tough, and she's very aloof, and she's a little nasty because she doesn't
She's
say
a
nice
little
things.
nasty. Yeah, she has a spike as a mouth. She just
Yes, and dominant
get
men
deep.
love that stuff.
Yeah.
Because when you're used to submissive women, a woman who isn't, who is a little,
Yeah.
who is really desirable but impossible to get, that's like a magnet. that's when you fall as a man. It's like, oh, okay, all my alpha male defenses have gone to the wayside. This must happen. And she knows it. She has this look in her eyes like, I know what you want. You're just not going to get it.
Yeah,
and of course
she's
they
smart
get
like
it.
that. Yeah.
And of course she sleeps with both of them.
Of course.
Yeah.
If
like
not.
This... So here we have the little threesome going. And Nick, the policeman, is into Joanne. So the minute she realizes, oh, he isn't really a bad boy.
No, he's a nice
just
one
being
inside.
bad to get what he wants. He's selfish. Oh, well, now I'm not interested in anymore. And he gets the cold shoulder. She actually dumps him in her own restaurant.
Yeah, that was really cringy. You were like, oh.
Oh, you're thinking, oh, poor Kurt.
No, poor guy.
How does this happen to Kurt Russell?
Yeah.
How is this possible?
Exactly. You're like, oh, no.
I thought that was really well done.
No, it was really well done. I think so too. Yeah. It was cringy, but you were like, okay. And you didn't see it coming. So you're like, oh my God. That's embarrassing. Yeah, it was
this
good
acting. This was really good acting because you just felt the cringe. You felt the subtle letdown. Yeah. It's like, no,
and the
you crossed the line here.
And the he was surprised but also disappointed, and he kind of was like, how does this happen to me? Like me? How is it possible? And you were like, okay, guy, you kind of deserve it a little bit, but yeah.
You put yourself out there, buddy.
Yeah.
With the wrong woman. Then this is what happens.
Exactly.
He got eaten alive.
Yeah.
Which kind of made me in that scene, it made me really worried for Mac. For the Mel Gibson character, I was like, oh, you have no idea what this woman is. Because she's portrayed the entire movie as this like victimized, how shall we put this? A vulnerable woman.
No, she isn't. She really isn't. Yeah.
She's just an idiot because she puts herself in really, really dangerous situations.
But you have to think like, does she like the situation, or is she that naive? You know, I didn't I couldn't.
No, she's way too smart for that. I think she's nuts.
Okay, yeah. You think she's like kind of toxic, like she likes it. She gives her butterflies. She like the adrenaline of it.
Yes. Yeah. So halfway through the movie, I was thinking, oh, Mel, don't stick your dick in crazy. Don't go
Please
there.
don't.
She's not worth it.
Yeah.
She's not an angel.
Yeah, she's pretty, but that's kind of it. Just
but that's how we fall. It's like we see this pretty thing, and it's all shiny, and then we add like all these elements to it. Oh, she's going to be this, and she's going to be that, and
projection. A lot of projection.
We project, and it's usually mommy issues. It's mommy issues. It's like mommy didn't love us enough. So when women behave aloof to you, mommy's love is being withheld.
Yeah.
And that's what creates this need in guys like that. And they become so pathetic.
So attached. And and they go all in.
Yeah. And Mel is he's a drug dealer, so he's paranoid. So he prefers to love from afar.
Yeah, normally.
Which I think is to a degree something we all do at some point in our lives. So he's in that restaurant every day. Not for food.
That's what I was saying about not protecting himself. Like how can you not see that you are projecting a habit that you can be traced, that you can normally that was that's
and the FBI is onto it.
Yeah, so fast. But
they're
they have
listening to it in the rest. Yeah.
How can you miss that? He's going there every day. Once he even goes like once or twice, 2 times a day. So you're like, you're gonna find him there. Just I could be the FBI with that guy. You know what I mean? Like,
not
that hard to follow.
The FBI in the movie is dumber than the police.
That's true.
Which is, I don't think that's the reality.
No, I don't think so.
From what I understand, basically, FBI guys are scientists. They're all university trained, and policemen are of average intelligence, most of them. So it's mostly knowledge and experience gained from work in the field, whereas the FBI is more theoretical. So they're going to be very
That's why you have
strategic
more.
about everything.
Yeah.
And they're going to double check everything. So that's why I really doubt in reality a subterfuge that some mob boss is going to pull on the FBI could actually work. Because I don't think.
No, I think so. Yeah, I don't think so too. No, it wouldn't
So
work.
this guy must have been working outside of boundaries because he's untrustworthy. He's a bad FBI guy. And that's like this entire movie is kind of saying evil is just here. This entire place makes everyone corrupt.
Yeah.
Like you have this beautiful place with palm trees and nice sunsets and beautiful cars and pretty people and great food. And it's just corrupting everybody.
This but kind isn't that like in my mind, it's like that's what I think about LA. Like in my mind, it's a corruption place. Like I don't know why, but it's also.
But when you get there, it's empty and boring.
I went once, but just for a few days, and I didn't like the city. It was too much of a city. It was loud. Yeah, it was loud. I thought it was really dirty, but in the sense of not clean, like
dilapidated and unkept. Yeah,
exactly, unkept. I was really
in the movies they show us the pretty parts.
Yeah, just the pretty parts.
And when you're there and you have to take the bus,
like, exactly, or you just have to walk on the street and you're like, okay, that's not clean. Like, you don't see that in the movie. You see LA like with sun and just
you're just stepping over homeless people and
that's awful. That's
the usual debris.
Yeah, exactly.
It's peculiar.
Yeah,
and the minute you get out of the center, it's like you're in a different city because that's where people live. And people in California are desperate to live in California, apparently. Yeah. And that's what you see. You see this like immense desperation everywhere. And I never understood it.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, but then again, I have some real bad experiences in LA. And like the first time I went there, it was just scary. And I hitchhiked from one part of the United States to California because I was training to be a personal trainer, and so I got my certificate, and I didn't have any money, so I just hitchhiked. That's what you do when you don't have money. So I had basically a student loan, and so I had enough money to either eat, sleep, or travel. Yeah. So I usually would combine the travel and the sleeping because you could get on a Greyhound and sleep.
Thinking,
or you could eat, and then I'd buy tuna fish, little cans of tuna fish.
Yeah, cans of tuna fish. Yeah.
Yeah, they work, and drink water. That's basically tuna fish and water diet. So I this or that, and then I try to get jobs at gyms to coach people for free so I could train. So I went through the United States like that, and so the end part was I took the train to LA. So I got off the train at the train station. And I was like, it was late at night and it was deserted. And there were still people there, but you couldn't see them. And then this guy started singing to me. Little white boy, all alone. And it was like this voice. I was like rushing out of the station. And it was like this voice was following me and singing to me. It's like, we're going to do shit to you. And I was like, oh, fuck me. I'm so screwed. What am I doing here? This was stupid.
Yeah, and you're a man.
Yeah.
And you were you have a muscle and you look like a real man and a strong one and still that you felt that.
But you're just you. And that's and you're white in a part of the city that basically you're an endangered species. People always talk about white privilege. Really? Okay, enjoy your white privilege in the interesting, sketchy parts of South Central LA. And you see how white privilege, how far that gets you there. It doesn't. Well, to a degree. When I went
to a degree, yeah.
Yes, when I went to Atlanta, this is a funny story. I wanted to go to a couple of museums. And one of them was on Dr. Martin Luther King. So, because I was a big fan. I loved his speeches. I was like, I'm going to go to the museum. So I went to the museum, because I'm one of those European intellectual guys who goes to museums and, one of those. And so you have to pass through an interesting part of town. And so, of course, I'm European. So I take the bus or I take or I walk or something like that. So I'm walking down the street and a cop car drives up from behind me and it goes, woo, and it shines the lights on me. Sir, get into the car. I'm like,
What?
you don't expect it to be you because I never get arrested for anything. So I look around, I see the cop car, and I was like, you know how you go? Like you point your chest, like, me? Sir, get into our car right now. And I'm like, okay, I'm in trouble now. So I get into the car. They drive me back. So where's your hotel? They drive me back to my hotel and berate me throughout the drive. You cannot just go here. You cannot just travel through here. Are you insane? We are not going to pick your body out from the gutter. No. You tourists have to stop doing this shit. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, sorry.
But I just wanted to go to the museum.
Oh my God, that's weird. Yeah.
No, it's the police in America are very scary. I don't really blame Americans for being afraid of their own police force because they're very scary. They're very intimidating, which is ironic because one of my podcast co-hosts is a cop and he's great and we're great friends.
Non, Ethan, tu attends, je suis occupée. Quand j'ai fini, je viens. Sorry.
No worries. Menace emanating from them. It's like in Europe, I'm used to if I'm in trouble or if I have to know the road or if you just walk up to a cop and you just chat. And it's just, they're people. Well, maybe not at a demonstration. Okay.
No, okay.
Maybe not. That's a different kind,
But that's like everywhere. You have bad one, you have nice one.
Yes.
It depends on the person. Exactly.
You have to read the room.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have to ask ourselves how did it get like that? I mean, what they encounter to feel like that, to feel like they have to be just that vindicative all the time.
Yeah, it's police culture.
Yeah.
It's basically the police become their own country and they have their own set of rules and they don't consider themselves part of the country. They consider themselves part of the group of blue.
Yeah, okay.
And it's us against them.
It's a family.
Yeah.
It's like a mafia. Like,
the mafia.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I liked about, have you ever seen Luc Besson's Taxi?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So you have the taxi driver and he's explaining to some tourists, it's like, oh, yes, we have a lot of gang problems here. There's a really big gang here. Yeah. And they wear blue caps, which is a French joke. That's the police.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Here we have this interesting police culture. It's the same thing. You have a lot of scenes in the police station where Nick Freesia is butting heads with the FBI who has set up in his office. And of course, he just got promoted. He's now a lieutenant. Yeah, and you can tell he's a lieutenant now because he can get this new name on the door. And he's more interested in all the things accompanying his new position than actually doing the
job. Yeah.
Because he's picking out wallpaper and he has like a new desk and his girlfriend, the restaurant owner, calls and he's just setting up a date for himself. And hey, man, and he tells everybody, hey, I'm working. And he's sort of working because he does get her her party list for Mac's son's birthday party, which he doesn't realize it's the son's birthday party, but still. There's this entire subtext and there's this entire layer of everybody knows what everybody's doing, but they're all using it for to further their own ends.
Yeah, exactly.
Nick just wants to bang the restaurant girl and just wants as much free time as possible and just wants to get away with everything and have fun doing
everything. Yeah. And he gets how it works. You see that he knows how to get it. It's just like he's not a newbie.
He's the perfect little Californian, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So here you have Mac, who doesn't sound Californian. This is still in Mel Gibson's I'm still a little bit Australian face because you can actually tell from his
that from there. Yeah.
And he's a little off here and there because that's one of the charming things about Mel Gibson is that he has this very offbeat way of acting. The only person who I think is even more offbeat is, what's that guy's name? Nicolas Cage.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
He also has kind of this weird streak in him.
Yeah.
Like you when you watch Nicolas Cage, you wonder when he's going into overacting mode, when he's going into shift into Nick Cage crazy, right?
Yeah, a little too far.
Yeah. And that makes him entertaining because his movies are always fun because of that. And here you have Mel Gibson, who has kind of that same thing. It's kind of like you never really know how he's going to react to certain situations as the character, which that makes it that makes it an interesting take. So you as an actor, you have to work off a person like that.
Yeah.
Right? So you're in a scene and you're filming a scene with this guy, and he does something you really don't expect. He's just sort of ad-libbing.
Yeah.
He's changing the script. He's changing his character on the fly. He's just trying something new. How do you deal with that?
You go for it. You keep in mind who you are supposed to be, and you go for it, because I think that if you want to be a great actor, you have to understand that the first rule, and you are just there to listen. Because if you listen to the other person, you are reacting to it. So when someone changes what you were supposed to see, what you were supposed to see happens, it gives you place to react. And that's how you get good and you get a nice scene. I think so, because you have to do the scene over and over. So sometimes it gets really mechanical. And to get out of that, it's really great when someone just change it a little bit, or just do something that you were not expecting. So you are better because you have a new reaction to it. And then I think it's the director's choice to keep it or not in the movie, and to stay with that or not, and to try to experiment with that if it suits what he was expecting of the character. So I think that you have to react. I think you for me, you should never be acting. You should always be reacting. And even though you know what the other people is going to say, because you have normally read the script and learn it, you have to just try to forget it and just react to how the person is going to say it, how they are going to move, and just let your body and your mind just react to it like you would be with someone you didn't know, with someone that you cannot never know what they are going to say. And that's, I think, how you deal with that.
Okay, so here you are. You, instead of Michelle Pfeiffer, you are sandwiched between Kurt Russell,
Mel Gibson,
who has a certain acting style, and Mel Gibson, who is completely unpredictable.
Yeah.
What would life be like?
I think it would be really fun, because you would be always surprised and never being able to predict. And if you cannot predict, you cannot just decide how you're going to act. You know, when you read a script, you have in your mind, because you are a person, you can, when you read it, you act it in your mind. Like, you kind of see it, the scene, you can see the scene in your mind. You can see how you're going to say stuff, and how you think it's going to be, and how you think it's going to move. And if you get on in front of the camera and you do exactly that, you are going to be so bad, because you already have rehearsed it. So you're going to be so bad. So when you play with someone that's unpredictable and someone that has a certain style, you just have to let the space for them to do their stuff, and for you to just forget everything you thought you are going to be, and just be in the moment, be present, and just listen and react to them. And so that's, I think, if you have two actors like that in front of you, you are going to be better. You are going to be good, because you are going to have a genuine reaction, because you weren't expecting it. So I think that's what makes you great. If you play with someone and you can you can see what they are going to do next, you don't react anymore. You know, so you're like, and you're going to do something you think you should do, and then you're bad. You're really bad, because it will look like you already knew what was going to happen. Like when someone in real life, when you come to someone and you know they are going to lie to you, and you know what they are going to say, and you have to fake it. Like, oh no, really? You have to act like you don't know. You always look really bad.
Your body language is already communicating.
Exactly.
I know you're lying. Yeah.
Okay. Exactly. And that's, I
so
think,
you turn in a kind of a false performance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting when you look at the choices that Michelle Pfeiffer makes, because she's in between these guys.
Yeah.
And she has to sort of remain true to her character, but they both play very differently, and the scenes have a very different energy.
Yeah.
And that's when I started to think, I mean, this is a great writer who is also the director, Robert Tanya. I mean, he was a script writer for decades and decades. So this was like his first great project. And you could tell it had to make money. This had to be a success. You could tell this was his big money grab. It's like, okay, I have the perfect script, so I now need the perfect stars who will attract an audience. They have to put in great performances, and all has to look great
and look good.
Because
the movie, I think, look good. It's pretty.
They have to look good. The scenes have to look. You can see how meticulously all these scenes are built, and sometimes they don't make sense. Like, for example, at some point, Mel Gibson and Kurt Russell characters have a heart-to-heart, where they're in the scene. They're basically lying to each other. They're on this because they're constantly. They have this tension of, I know you're a drug dealer. I know you're a bad cop.
You're a crook. Yeah.
How bad of a cop are you? Are you gonna? They're testing each other's loyalty.
Yeah.
Throughout the movie.
To a friendship, friendship, yeah.
Because the real theme of this movie is bros before hoes.
Yeah.
And so you have Kurt Russell and Mel Gibson, and they're sitting in the sunset, the tequila sunrise, or sunset, whatever you want to call it. It has that cocktail look, and they're sitting on the swings. Now, I'm a man. You don't sit on swings. You don't know where that's been. You know, no, you don't. You don't want to. There are children playing on that, and druggies are sitting on that, and you don't want to be on those swings because they're filthy, dirty. You want to get your clothes dirty. You just don't.
And not those men, like you.
Maybe not those. Well, I think Nick, he likes his suits, so he wouldn't be sitting.
That's what I mean. Those men are too clean. They would be. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, because Dale McCusick, or that's what it's called, I think, Mel's character lives on the beach. Yeah. And so that whenever he's making a phone call with Carlos on the beach, so the cops can't listen in. Exactly why they weren't listening on a public phone, I don't understand, because you can just listen to that. But okay, you can tap it, but hey, who cares? So he's on the beach talking to whoever, and he's always in different clothes, because why not? When you live on the beach, you can just change clothes if you want.
Yeah.
So, so he's very clean. And so is Nick. And they're sitting on these dirty swings. And my mind is going, it's like, this wouldn't happen in reality.
It's so funny to hear that, because it didn't cross my mind. I was like, okay, I was just going with it. Okay, I've
seen it too many times. That's the thing.
I know, I understand that. And now that you're saying, I'm like, yeah, that's true. They wouldn't be on the swing. Like,
no, but
I never thought about it. Yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I mean, they're basically, you can't really see their faces, so you don't really know if they're lying. They're just saying stuff to each other. Yeah. So you really have to focus in on the dialogue, which is something the writer finds important, and the movie maker wants to have a pretty picture. And the combination of the two makes that scene. And it's a really interesting scene, very important to the plot, and it's completely convoluted.
And it's really different.
To me, that's the entire movie.
I get that, because it's really, it's a moment that just, it doesn't look like the rest of the movie. Mm-hmm. It makes you like, you have to watch that one. If you should watch one, you should watch that one. That scene is but it's saying something more. Yeah.
That scene is what basically what the poster promises.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
This is what you're going to get. You're going to get stars. You're going to get pretty scenes. You're going to get an exciting story. Yeah. And you can say what you want about this movie, but the story is great. It's you could say the plot is convoluted. You could say it's hard to follow. You can say, but the dialogue is good. The story is good. It's a good watch. I really enjoy this. I just do. It's clever. It's and Americans don't make clever movies all that often. So I'm always happy when I get that. It has that sort of basic instinct cleverness about it.
Yeah, they didn't went for the easy one. I mean, sometimes you watch a movie, an American one, and you're like, okay, that was easy. That was cheap.
This could all have been running and shooting. And car chases,
and that's, you think you're going to watch a movie with a lot of a battle scene, and there isn't really one big one. I mean, I was like expecting something more, but it's more about the people. It's more about the relationship. And
Yeah.
when I started watching, I didn't think it was going to go that way.
These things are tricky to make because it's basically a love affair of people who just met.
Yeah.
And so that promises sex because
Always. Yeah.
when you've just met,
Yeah.
that's the first thing you want to do. You want to get physical as fast as possible. So that's what it's promising.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminded me of, there's this other movie earlier in the 80s, which was Against All Odds, which
I
is
didn't see
famous. It's famous for the song because Phil Collins made a hit song about it.
Okay. I didn't see that. I'm gonna Google it.
Yes,
Against
you should.
all odds.
Against All Odds. And it's with great actors. I mean, it's with great actors. But this movie succeeds where that one fails. It does the exact same thing. It's a love triangle, pretty people in pretty places, with great music, with great shots, with a decent story. But this movie has chemistry where Against All Odds doesn't.
Didn't. Okay.
Yeah. And Against All Odds has because the main character loves speed. He's a professional football player and he loves fast cars and he does everything. Everything is a competition for him. So getting the woman is a competition to him. That's the theme, kind of the theme of the movie. And yeah, it's okay. It's okay to just watch once. But this Tequila Sunrise thing is that you can just put it on and start cooking.
Yeah.
Which is what I did. I'm just cooking and just had Tequila Sunrise on, and it's pretty to look at. And at some point, you just sort of, the scenes are comforting.
Yeah, and it didn't age that bad. I think
no, not at all.
You can feel the vibe, and it stayed the same. And yeah,
they were kind of going for that kind of 50s feel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
with kind of, and so it's an enjoyable movie just for that. And so I'm really happy to cover it because of that, because it's fun. It's not insulting your intelligence.
No, it's not.
It's just the only thing that really annoys me, and that's judgmental.
Yeah,
is Michelle Pfeiffer's character, because she's the femme fatale. She has to be a strong person because these are alpha males butting heads over her.
Yeah.
And they're childhood friends, and these guys care more about each other at this point than they do her, except Mel's character is deeply, deeply in love. To the point that he kills his friend over her, because his friend, his criminal friend, says, look, she's a witness. She knows too much. We have to kill her, buddy. We have to kill her. Yeah. And we're just going to sit here and talk about this until you agree with me. Right? This is bros before hoes, essentially.
Yeah, it's just that.
Just that. And on the other hand, there's the cop who's not on the boat, who also has a stake in this, who also enjoys the company of Joanne.
Yeah.
But he's like, he has the different bros before hoes, because there's always when a man loves a woman. When you see that your friend is in love with a woman, you take a step back and you just give him space to make mistakes, because you realize, well, okay, this is important. He's not in
control,
So basically what you do when your friend is in love with a woman you disapprove of or that you want for yourself is you just give up. You just give her up. It's like, okay, this is important to him. It's obvious. This will wreck our friendship if you don't get in between a man and a woman, not when it's real. So you just sort of take a step back and you just sort of be, I don't know, the voice of reason maybe is like, hey, watch out. Okay. Just, think about you first. Think about your kid. Think about etc. So that's really the difference between the two friendships. Whereas the one is Carlos is into Mac. That's their jail buddies. They went through a lot of stuff. They probably saved each other's lives. They had each other's back.
You can feel that they have a story there.
And Carlos is, because Raul Julia is a great actor. Yeah. He's so amazing. I just love him in everything he's ever done.
and he's so charismatic. You have
Yeah,
something when you
with the
see him,
singing.
you're like, okay, yeah, no,
With the
he's really
singing.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'd be into him, right? I know.
yeah,
Yeah. He's your kind of
kind
guy.
of.
I figured out. I figured that out. Anywho, so here you have the friendship between Carlos, which is criminal and
Yeah,
violent
yeah,
and warm and intense and scary and all those things. And on the other hand, you have the childhood friends who have a deeper understanding of each other, who
yeah.
have a loyalty to each other
Mm-hmm.
that is questioned throughout the movie, but is rewarded in the end. And in between, you have Michelle Pfeiffer's character,
Yeah,
who
she's
plays with one and also plays with the other and decides which one she wants and then just sort of pulls commitment from him.
yeah, exactly. She went for it.
Yeah, she went for it. I mean, that's
Yeah,
and so that's interesting in terms of acting choices, and because here's this aloof woman and she's finally decided, okay, this is the alpha male I want, who will
this
be
one. Yeah,
strong enough to even deal with me and protect me.
yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that?
I'm trying to think about it because I think she's
But she's not well written, so as an actress,
yeah,
you have
that's
to
what I
sort
was
of
going to
find
say.
ways to make it
She's
believable, right?
yeah, and she's always she doesn't stand on her 2 feet. The character, I mean, you couldn't, I mean, if you let me put it in another way, you could make a sequel about Meg Gibson character, you could make a sequel about Kurt Russell character, you could take both and have a whole movie about their life, how they got there and stuff, and you can make how they are going to move forward. You, with the information we have in the movie, you could do that because you are into them and they have a really strong, well-written character. She doesn't. You're like, okay, we have like 5 info about her. Like you know that she's strong, yeah, because she acts like it. It is okay. She's a business owner, okay, fine, and she's pretty. It's not even 5. It's 3, and I think that in a lot of movie, it's going to it's better now, but for a lot of times when you have the female character in movies, they don't give them substance. She doesn't have substance. You know what I mean?
Yes, I know what you mean. And I suspect this is because the writer / director just does not understand women.
Exactly.
Just does not understand them.
He couldn't
because they're all
do anything else. Yeah, exactly. And she's just,
I mean, how many women are in this movie?
She's a pretty face.
How many women?
One and a half. 2, yeah. You have
there's the ex-wife and there's the girlfriend, the restaurant owner.
Yeah.
Right? And the ex-wife is horrible.
Yeah, and you don't know why she's horrible. I mean, you don't have anything about her. You just
okay. So she's materialistic.
Okay, like
that's what the movie tells you. She is not a good parent.
Yeah, in the way they presented her.
Yeah. She's the typical ex-wife who just wants money from her ex-husband.
She's a cliche, you know.
She's
she doesn't
trope,
have substance.
Cliche.
She's a cliche. She doesn't have like.
And when you're a bad writer and you don't understand something, you write a cliche.
Yeah, exactly. But to be honest, Joanne is a cliche too. You know, she really is. You're like, it's lacking something. It's lacking.
It's a woman that doesn't really exist.
She's a pretty woman, strong, and that's it. And she's strong, but you don't know why. I mean,
they never explain why she's this tough.
Why is this?
You assume.
Yeah, and she's strong, and you know they want you to think that she's strong, but she really isn't that strong because she is looking for that man to rely on, but you don't know where it comes from, and I don't. I think it's really really hard. Michelle Pfeiffer, she's there to. She's pretty, to be honest. She's that face of the movie because they needed a pretty face for the shower scene but they don't give
the hot tub scene.
Yeah, the hot tub scene.
The hot tub scene, which we didn't talk about yet.
No, not yet. Okay. But they don't give her the. She doesn't have much to do to act. She doesn't have much to act. No. She doesn't have to build a person. She doesn't have to build a character. She doesn't have to change anything about her. She can come on set and be kind of her with another line, and what she projects is enough. Yes, for Mel Gibson, it's not. For Kurt Russell, it's really not, because he's different than what you see him normally in, and he had to build a person, a character. She didn't.
Yeah, and I don't think she was interested in doing it.
I have no idea. I think she didn't have the space to do it.
Well, apparently she went through a divorce during shooting.
At that time?
Yeah,
okay, I didn't know
right
that.
Through. So she wasn't happy. She got into arguments with the director, probably over some of the things you're saying.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So this was very argumentative. And you can tell from her performance, because it's a little wooden.
Yeah, it's a little wooden. Yeah,
she's fine when she's in scenes with Kurt. She's fine when she's in scenes with Mel.
Because she reacts.
You can tell she can just react, and you can tell she, there's professional respect, right? But in the rest, she's just, okay, did we get our makeup done? Is my hair okay? Okay, let's do the scene. It kind of feels very go through the motions kind of thing.
Yeah, I get that.
Which kind of brings us to the hot tub.
The hot tub scene.
And we're talking about a movie that is all about imaging. It's all about shooting the right image and projecting the right image and delivering on the promise of, we're giving you the California dream.
Yeah.
So here we have the main characters, attractive people, they're in love, and they get into a hot tub. Now, apparently, according to everybody's, and this is a voyeuristic scene, because the FBI and the federales / criminals are all watching this, and they're reacting to it. They're all loosening their clothes, and they're all like trying to take each other's binoculars away from each other because they're watching porn. And this is in a hot tub, and it's like, okay, that's a nice idea, because you get steam and it's wet. And,
it's pretty image, but
yes, but the reality of it, I don't know, 4 hours in a hot tub,
and that's awful, and you would be so
pruned.
Exactly. Yeah, this is not realistic. I thought so too. I was
it's a hot tub, so you get dehydrated, right?
Yeah,
because you're not drinking that water, you're in it, and it's hot, so you're dehydrating. That's one.
And you
but it gives off steam, and the steam is pretty. Right, so you can show skin, but because of the steam, it's more translucent, so you can get away with more. And
it's not.
They shoot it upside down, and so you can see the mirror image, and it's the cinematography is really well done. I mean, they got nominated, but I envision myself in a hot tub with the girl I just met. And this is the first time you're going to be doing it, and you don't know each other. The last thing you want to do is like put your elbow in the wrong place, so you're hurting her hair, and, all that kind of stuff. But they're in there for 4 hours.
But that's really an.
And this was before pills, right? This was before they got those little blue pills, so you would last. 4 hours. I was like, and okay. They should not have shot that way. They should have just said 40 minutes. 40 minutes?
Yeah, it's fine. We can get
long to be in a hot tub.
Yeah.
But I understand, okay, you get like 10 minutes of foreplay and then 10 minutes of cuddling and some stuff in between. That would work. But 4 hours? No, not in this universe.
It was, but it's just...
it's unhealthy.
No, but they didn't care about the realistic aspect of it. They just wanted a nice shot and to say something like, 4 hours, that's so hot. They were so hot. It was amazing. You just have like, no.
And that was not a normal hot tub.
Yeah.
He's actually explaining that.
Yeah.
That it's not a normal hot tub. He's just explaining like technical details and everything, which is ironic.
Weird.
Because they didn't shoot it in a real hot tub anyway. And the problem with that was, that's one of the trivia I wrote down. Okay, so this hot tub, it wasn't safe. It wasn't safe. It was they got splinters, and they got skin rashes from the water, because if you're shooting that all day, right?
Yeah,
it's like really it's not a 5 minute scene.
You get out and in and out and in and out and in.
And you're cold and you're miserable and
miserable.
You have to get and you have to have your hair done again.
Yeah, you are miserable.
And then it's lunchtime.
Mm-hmm.
It's brutal. So the actors were miserable. They had to stop principal photography for 3 to 4 days so they could recover. Probably because Michelle Pfeiffer just stalked off set and went straight to a skin physician and said,
like, I have a rash, just
and didn't want to go back anymore. And so they had to talk her into it. But no, it's if you think about it just in terms of the character in a hot tub for 4 hours, you're looking at a urinary tract infection. At the very least.
Yeah, that's true. That's what
don't do this at home, boys and girls.
No, don't do it, please. It's not real. It's an Hollywood scene. It's like,
it's about image.
It's about image. It's only about image. They didn't give a F about if it was true or not. It could be done or not. It's just for the pretty picture. It's just
And it seems to me like this is bragging rights at Hollywood parties. It's like, yes, I got Kurt Russell and Michelle Pfeiffer together, wet in a wine cellar. I got Mel Gibson and Michelle Pfeiffer naked together in a hot tub.
Yeah,
I am the shit in Hollywood. Look at what I did, right?
Look what I give you.
This is like more, Coke inspired party points.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, I think you're right, and I think this type of scene, it's like it should have been so long to discuss contractual wise. Like, I don't want you to see that. I don't want to be filmed like that. I don't want. Oh my god, that's a hazard. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's the old. I don't want my nipples showing.
Yeah, and did they use another body for her at some point when you don't see her face and stuff like that? Yeah,
stand-in stuff like that.
Yeah,
mean, every scene in Pretty Woman. Is someone else.
It's someone else. Yeah,
you don't actually see her body. That's a stand-in.
No, that's the idea of it,
and rightfully so. Anywho, so here we have a love triangle. So I'm kind of curious because I don't podcast with women enough. What is an effective female strategy in a love triangle? You have two guys, two alpha males who know each other coming after you.
Yeah.
You get to pick because you're the pretty girl in the situation. What is an effective strategy here?
But I think...
and they're both coming at you at the same time and they're not letting up.
For me, it's not realistic. I mean, maybe it's just me, but you know which one you like. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you have, just because they want you doesn't mean, that's what I don't like. One thing I don't like in this movie is just they made you think that because they want her, she wants them. She wants them. But why? I mean,
well, they're Kurt Russell and Mel Gibson. That's
all right. No, I don't think so. I think
they're handsome, sexy, successful men.
But handsome, sexy, successful men for your taste. I mean, why she couldn't? I don't know. I mean, for me, it's too strong from them and not enough from her. She's like, okay, there are two boys that
she
want
likes
me, so
bad
I
boys.
want.
She even says this.
Yeah, but
you're a very bad boy, Nick. And she says it in a certain way. It's like, you're a very bad boy. And it's like she knows, she's basically saying to herself, oh no, this is another one. Oh boy, here I go. I'm wet. That's basically the vibe you get. It's like, because he's a bad boy, because he's not an honest cop.
Yeah, but for me, that's too...
on the nose?
Yeah, that's too easy. That doesn't give her any personality or credit. Like, okay, that's a woman. She loves a bad boy, so she loves them both. No, please.
She didn't resist either of them enough.
Yeah, no. And she doesn't. You cannot feel which way she's going to go. It's like, no, she doesn't have any personality. She doesn't. No, I didn't buy it enough.
So to you, she's like a Bond girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, automatically in love with James Bond because he's Bond.
Yeah, because they are them, and you're like, yeah, but why?
Yes, and even if the Bond girl is critical and rejects James Bond, no problem. James Bond will have her anyway.
Yeah, anyway, like,
even if she's Grace Jones.
No, exactly. Exactly. No, but also
my favorite Bond girl, by the way.
You noted. You don't know why she likes them just because they are bad boys. That's not enough. I mean, it doesn't give her any personality. And no, it's too easy, too on the nose, too small. I don't buy it. The two boys arrive and you're like, okay, I like them because they're bad boys and pretty. Okay, they're pretty guy, but yeah, no. But I think when you are in a love triangle, because I was going to say threesome, and that's not the same thing.
It's not a threesome. No.
No,
It's not a threesome.
Love
Michelle was
triangle.
not spit roasted.
No,
No.
yeah.
Okay, so it's not that kind of movie. If you're watching Tequila
that's
Sunrise
not.
and someone gets spit roasted, you basically downloaded the wrong movie.
Yeah, I'm just French speaking normally, so sorry for that.
No
But
worries. Yeah, you would say ménage à trois.
Ménage à trois, yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of have
Is
an
there a difference
inclination.
there in France, or is it just when two men are into you, you just end up that way?
But it's not two men into you. It's like you are into men and two men are into you. Yeah, like you have to be part of it. She's for me, she's not that part of it. I mean,
Okay.
I didn't buy it. I don't know why. It was too. No, when I was watching the movie, I bought it because it was in the movie, and I was like, okay, I decided
basically
to
in the
went
movie
with
she
it.
tries out both of them.
Yeah,
She
it's
tries
like,
out Nick, and
okay, I like.
Nick doesn't cut it because he's a wimp.
Mm-hmm.
He showed weakness, and she
Yeah.
wants strong, threatening, dangerous bad boys.
Yeah.
And Nick is, in the end, he's a goody two shoes, so she's not interested anymore. You can tell because at some point he's like, "Well, okay, I lied to you, but I lied to you because."
Blah blah blah.
She doesn't even want to listen. It's like, I don't care. It's like, you lied to me
You were weak,
ineffectually, so I no longer hold you in any kind of esteem, right?
Yeah.
So then there's the drug dealer, and she knows he's a drug dealer because she's known that ever since he came in. She's like, I know who my customers are.
She sees that, yeah.
And I'm still giving you nice food. You're getting special dishes, and I'm sort of hinting all the time, and So she's like, I'm not averse to the old bad boy here. So he gets the pass, but he doesn't.
Yeah, but you know what bothered me is that you can feel that she's into them even when she doesn't know anything about them. It's and that doesn't change in the way of.
So she's projecting something.
Yeah, it doesn't.
But we don't get to know what
exactly, and
she never talks about daddy.
Yeah, or daddy, or the ex, or something else. Yeah. It's just too plain.
Yeah, there's no motivation for her character.
Yeah, exactly. But that's her character. It's written like that.
Yeah, because basically Robert Downey doesn't understand women and doesn't care about their motivation. They're there to be desired.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe he's gay.
Maybe.
Could be.
But
California.
Saying she's into them because they are bad boys, writing her that way, it's like so boring, so easy. So like you didn't put any thought into her.
Yeah, this is the 80s.
Yeah, really, that's it. No thought about it.
Yes, so that's really the weakness of the movie, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Aside from that, it's fun.
No, it's a fun watch.
It's fun.
I wouldn't watch it a second time. Like, I mean, if someone said, "Hey, I didn't see it. Would you watch it with me?" I wouldn't, I think. But it was a nice watch to watch like this. Yeah. And also because you watch it with a little bit of nostalgia for those years, those movie years.
Right.
They have that vibe, and I like that vibe. So yeah.
So do I. That's why I make a podcast about it, really.
Yeah.
Because I'm not into Marvel.
I am into Marvel, but not all of them. But yeah,
well,
they lost me sometime.
Marvel is okay, but Marvel, not so much. Okay.
I get that.
So I think that's about it. I think that's the movie.
That's all of it.
Closing thoughts.
But what I just said, I mean, if I would have to summarize, I would say it's a nice watch. Mel Gibson is great, and Kurt too. Little bit of a miss about Michelle Pfeiffer role, even if she is what she is. So she is beautiful, but it just kind of stops there.
Yeah, that's all she is.
That's all she is.
She could have been a mannequin. She could have been a blow-up doll.
Yeah, exactly. She could be. She's just that, and okay, good for her. But that's a little bit sad for my point of view. Yeah. And I think the movie is a little bit slow to.
Would you want this part?
To start. I would want the money. But
Okay, so there you have Michelle Pfeiffer's motivation.
yeah, that's no, but to be honest, I would probably do it because I would love to have the money and the exposition to be playing with those two guys and to meet them and to meet to have the exposition, because in this work of field you have to be known, and with a movie like that you will probably have a lot of red carpet and stuff, and so you would be in that really close circle and for a time, and that would probably lead to other projects. So I would do it, to be honest. Okay. But I would be a little bit disappointed about my character. But it wouldn't be a lot of work. I would have just to show up, let them do my makeup and stuff, and be like, yeah, I want you. Oh no, I want you, and then be done. So if you have to take it for what it is. It's not a movie I would do for my intellect or for wanted to portray something important or be part of something important. It's a movie I would do just for the money and for having one foot on the door in a circle. I would want to work with people that they are well known, and when you can ask for more money then, and then you can meet new people and stuff. But it wouldn't give something more to my life except that. Well, which is nice. Poster, you have to.
I actually had this poster on my wall when I was a kid. Yeah. That poster is out there forever.
Yeah,
I think the poster is more important than the movie.
And she's in the center of the poster, and you see her, and you know and it's sad that she's the only woman in the movie, because it's telling something about how it was written and how it is. But for her, that's great, because you know she is
more
in
exposure.
It.
More scenes.
Yeah, more exposure, more scene, and you're like, who was in that movie, and you always say one girl and the guy, and you say her name, so you know that's her. And
to me, this kind of felt like a Brigitte Bardot movie or Marilyn Monroe movie or Raquel Welch movie, where
they are poster girl.
Yeah, the poster girl who is the center of the movie, but it's the character actors who make it work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So what's next for you?
What do you mean?
Well, in terms of what are your acting goals? Because you're a leading actress. You just completed the movie. It's out. It will probably be streaming at some point. Well, okay, so there's an English title, because I think it's a French movie, right?
It's a French movie, À la folie. In English, it's By Your Side.
Okay.
It's called By Your Side, from Audrey Estrugo. That's the name of the director. And for me, I hope to get more part. I'm doing casting and stuff, but I'm really I don't have my foot on the door, like you say, like I said for Michelle Pfeiffer yet. But I'm trying to. But that's a job when you have a lot of people wanting to be there, and not a lot of people to be able to work.
Not
that
enough
much.
Project, too many competition.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I'm just hoping for good stuff to come and trying to, and if not, I will find them myself.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
well, that's about it for this episode.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for discussing this movie with me and
thank you
providing your wonderful insights.
Thank you. It was really nice to do. I was really happy to. It's my first podcast, so I really liked it.
Yeah. And it must be kind of strange to do it in English, where normally you would do it in French.
Yeah, it was kind of fun, but it's good practice.
Excellent. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.